My best definition of globalism would be the intertwinement of trade, economies, and people throughout the world. I believe that globalism has a positive impact because it allows my family to have opportunities that they wouldn't normally have if we were more isolated. For example, how would we be able to buy goods overseas if we were isolated? Like, how would we be able to get all these Japanese-made phones when we're Canadian? I think that globalism has had a great impact on the world because before everything was globalized, you were limited to your local market when you were buying goods. So, for example, I can only buy Canadian-made goods. But with the introduction of globalization, I can now buy goods from overseas, from China, from India, from anywhere I want, and the people there can buy goods from me. So it really expands my economy and expands the opportunities I have to buy and sell goods, to get stuff I otherwise wouldn't be able to have. Well, I learned that the interaction is sometimes not that bad because if one indigenous population makes contact by a more rich or wealthy nation, they can be granted opportunities that they wouldn't normally have. For example, would be America outsourcing its cocoa business to places like Jamaica and the Caribbean, where so the farmers there who would otherwise not have any jobs could farm cocoa beans and make a profit. So I think it's just great, and there's examples like that all over the world, like when Canada is giving business to Chinese corporations to make phones and stuff. I just think it's a wonderful and delightful thing. Well, a big part of the Truth and Reconciliation program is letting people know what happened, because to make sure history doesn't repeat itself, you gotta let people know what we did wrong, and what we did wrong was, of course, residential schools. And what the Truth and Reconciliation program is trying to do is inform people and tell them what happened. Like, Canada's taking all the blame for this one, and it's nice. And we're giving them money, we're giving them land, we're making everything better, we're making them feel good, because they were trying to get assimilated all those years ago, and I think that's horrible. Now that we're trying to fix it, it just makes my heart warm. So I think that's great. We're just trying to let people know, pretty much. Well, I think that's a great question, Craig, because I believe that as of now, to be able to develop yourself as a country, you have to globalize. For like the world superpowers, Russia, China, and America, they're all gaining all this massive wealth because they're outsourcing their stuff and they're globalizing. And I think to get ahead, that's what you have to do. But I fear that in the near future, countries will try to isolate themselves, and then they'll stop developing, and the ones that try to isolate themselves are just going to fall off and lose power, while the ones that are just going to keep on developing and making allies. And I think the only way to get ahead in this wacky world is you have to, be partners with other nations, and you gotta like, make teammates with them to develop. So yeah, I think pretty fucking sure they're gonna start. They're gonna. All right. For the next question is, what do you think the biggest problem facing the world is today? And in my opinion, I think the biggest issue would, of course, be the big kahuna, global warming, because as of now, people are kind of underestimating the damage that global warming will have on us because with the rising sea levels, like, some countries won't even be alive anymore, they won't even exist. So I just think it's crazy that some people such as Donald Trump are making it out to seem that global warming is an issue, and I think it's one of the major ones, in fact. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on, is that we need Mother Nature to survive and to thrive, and just destroying her like that is just kind of damages my soul, and kind of, it's almost horrible. And like, So yeah, and as a person, I think I already do try to contribute by recycling and trying to keep my CO2 level and my carbon footprint down. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So for question number 8, by the time you turn 40, in what ways do you think technology will have impacted your life in the world? And you know what, Craig? That's a very important question because even today I can feel technology impacting me. Like, I know it's weird, but I feel like I have to have my phone on me at all times, and I know other people feel that way too. And if you compare it to the 1990s where no one had a smartphone, no one was as dependent on technology as we are, I think it's just crazy. And with recent studies showing that how technology is increasing exponentially, such as how 10 years ago you'd be lucky if you could get a 1 gigabyte hard drive, and now there's 1 terabyte going around, and I just think it's crazy. So imagine what 20 years from now, or even we're advancing at such a rapid rate. It's going to have such a massive effect on us, and I hope it's for the better. I hope we don't use it for warfare, and because honestly, I just want the world to advance as one technological giant and not have to worry about ISIS, and I just think it's crazy. All right, so question number 10 is, what is one thing you have learned about yourself this semester from your social studies experience? And honestly, I think the number one thing I learned is just how intertwined and interconnected I am with the rest of the world. Even through the use of just my cell phone every day, I'm contacting people many thousands of miles away, and I think that's just crazy. And I never really sat down to think about how I'm getting all these cheap goods from China and how they're getting here. And it's just crazy how I can go to the dollar store and buy 50 things made in China when 50 years ago something made in China would be quite the rarity. Maybe you could be considered quite an antique piece. I do say so. So yeah, my main thing I learned is just that how intertwined I am with the rest of the world, and never really realized that. It's like you really opened my eyes, Craig. Not gonna lie, and kind of opened up my third eye, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I just think it's crazy. I really quite enjoyed the movie. It really opened my eyes again to just the world we live in.
Wait a minute. Just hold up for a second. Can you hear that?
Hear what?
Just listen for a second. Shining light.
What is that?
Dude.